Greetings, Felix Fortuna, just a caveman living in a modern cave, and as caveman we notice patterns in the night sky, and as the song goes, I have ridden shooting stars, and I can show you how. 26 upcoming lunar eclipse. This from the Seleucid era, city of Uruk, incantation ritual, lunar eclipse rituals. So that'll be fun to look into. This is from ORACC cam/GCAB. And it is a lunar eclipse ritual, BRM4,06 lunar eclipse ritual. A few lines are broken, but it starts with the ritual procedure in the domain of the Kalu priest of somebody, some god probably. She has gone out, the wild cow from the temple of Ningal. The mother, Ningal, has gone out from the city. I am your Lord who roams around and does not sleep. I am your Lord who did not eat bread. Or his weariness. I'm not sure what that is, but I am one who did not drink water in his weariness. Sand has been heaped up into my house. Dust has been piled up. O dignitary, the one of wailing does not restrain wailing. The prince squats on the ground in lamentations for his city. The tempest arose. It covered dust over the face. The storm is the word of Anu. The storm is the word of Enlil. The storm is the rage in the heart of the great Anu. I am a Dilmunite whose ship sank in the reed thickets. I am one who has heart but does not have strength. Woe, my heart, woe, my emotions. The processional boat which delivered food offerings has delivered distress instead. The one in charge of the food offerings did not bring in the food offerings. The one in charge of the libations did not bring in libations. This is what was sung to Sin at the eclipse. You lay out an altar at the gate of the temple of the gods and in the square. You pile cedar, cypress, myrtle, sweet reed, tamarisk of the mountain, and twigs of iru tree on the altar. As the eclipse begins, a temple enterer lights a torch and kindles fire at the altar. A Kalu priest sits and performs the ritual procedures in the domain of the Kalu priest until the eclipse has become light. Until the eclipse becomes light, the fire on the altar must not be extinguished. You make funerary offerings for the fallow meadows. Ditto funerary offerings for the watercourses which do not carry water. You make funerary offerings to the Anunnaki, until the eclipse becomes light. The people of the land, their head garments taken off, their heads covered with just their pieces of cloth, cry out. Make confinement, murder, rebellion, and the eclipse not come close to Uruk, Res, Irrigal, Berama, Iana, and the temples of the gods of Tirana. They raise their voice on account of lamentation. 7 soldiers, people of the land, their faces, their hands, and their feet smeared with mud from the watercourse. You hang a sword on your right collarbone. Cry out, make confinement, murder, rebellion, and eclipse not come close to Uruk, Res, Irrigal, Berama, Eana, and the temples of the gods of Tirana. They raise their voice on account of lamentation. Until the eclipse becomes clear, they cry out. As soon as Sin lightens the eclipse, you extinguish the fire on the altar with beer. On the next day, a builder lifts up the altar together with his ash and throws it into the watercourse. On the next day, before Samas arises, you open the gates with which you have sealed. You break the standard magic circle in white and black twine. Probably you make the standard magic circle with white and black twine. You throw them into a watercourse. You wipe clean with purification ceremonies all the temples of the gods, and in particular the Idum Ununu, the temple of the Sin. The the temple of Sin. Sin is clothed. The holy water vessels are set up. You say, written in Sumerian, and then it's written in Akkadian. Adjure them by the life of Anu and Enlil. One Masmastu priest on the right of the temple and the second on the left of the temple recite the incantation, budding storms. And the rest of the Masmasu priests recite the incantation, evil Udug demons. They adjure them with incantation formulas. On the next day, you throw the magic circle, purification wipings, and altar into a watercourse. Alternatively, on the day of the eclipse of the moon, the Sangu priests of the temples of the gods of Tirana lay out an altar at the gate of the temple of their gods. They kindle a light. They cry out, make confinement, murder, rebellion, and the eclipse not come close to Uruk, Res, Irrigal, Berama, Eana, and the temples of the gods of Tirana. They raise their voices on account of lamentations. Until the eclipse becomes clear, they cry out. On the day of the eclipse of the moon, they carry the bronze hul-atu drum, the bronze manzi drum and the bronze kettle drum from the storehouse, and place them at the dais of the balangu drum. As soon as the eclipse of the moon begins, Kalu priests, clothed in a linen garment, their heads covered with their torn pieces of cloth, raise lamentations, wailing and weeping to Sin during the eclipse. You lay down 3 heaps of flour opposite the kettle drum inside a magic circle. You set up 1 offering vessel full of tears from a purified tamarisk and water on the right side of the 3 heaps of flour inside the magic circle for the fixed procedure relating to the Kalu priests opposite Sin during the eclipse. If a third visible surface is the extent of the eclipse, the wild bull in his fold is performed. Rainstorms consuming life penetrates into the heart. The emissal cult Lemet is, alas, he is the one who has destroyed my Abzu. If 2/3 of the visible surface is the extent of the eclipse, the wild bull in his fold, and, woe, alas, your heart are performed. And, alas, he is the one who has destroyed my Abzu, and rainstorms consuming life penetrate into the heart. If a small totality is the extent of the eclipse, the wild bull in his fold, and other ones, probably the same ones, woe, alas, your heart are performed. And the rest of it's broken off, but it's still pretty interesting to find out. Seleucid in the city of Uruk and the Lunar Eclipse Rituals, because we have one coming up rather soon. ORACC BRM 4,06 Lunar Eclipse Rituals. And thank you for paying attention.